fish stuff. So I've been meaning to do live food for a while now. I used to do it with brine shrimp, like baby brine shrimp back with my old pistos, but I never actually got really into it. Frozen foods are great, but they don't really cover all the bases and they're not as fun to watch the fish hunt down. Brine shrimp are way too hard to culture, well, not way too hard to culture, they're just annoying to culture. So I went ahead and bought this. You don't know what's in the box. It's Daphnia magna, I think. It's called Russian Reds or something. I'll put the link or the picture or whatever somewhere on the screen, but basically these are the water fleas. These like tiny little bugs in the water that really just kind of jerk around sometimes, and they're really, I don't want to say interesting to watch, but they're certainly interesting to watch get hunted down. And I'm going to put them in one of those tanks over there and try and culture them and use them as a live feeder for all my tanks. They're freshwater little shrimps. Actually, I don't know if they're shrimps. I don't know what the heck they are. They're freshwater things, and they are going to survive in the water with the fish for a long time. So it's very convenient for me, which means I don't have to clean up dead food, and the fish can basically hunt for hours or maybe even a day if they find any left. There's some other stuff in this fish room that I need to talk about, but that's going to be a different video. I'm probably going to start culturing them in these little 2.5 gallon tanks. This one's a little dirty on the glass, but it's kind of whatever. I've got 3 tanks over there and a 5.5. I'll probably end up using that too, considering most of these tanks are just lying around doing nothing for a while. I don't remember why or when I bought these, but now they have a use, so that's cool. So we're just going to go ahead and open it up the box and see what's inside. Let's see what's inside. Ow, that didn't work. That also didn't work. What the? Got it. Alright, so let's go ahead and just open this up. Really hope I didn't cut open the bags. I always worry about cutting open the bags when I do these box openings for fish and plants and shrimp and stuff. This is where I'm gonna cut a fish in half one of these days. Alright. It's in a trash bag. Weird start, but yeah, whatever works. I don't really care. Doesn't smell, so that's a good idea. That's a good sign. Alright, I think I've got 2 bags of about 1,500-ish Gamara, what are these called? Daphnia. It's kind of a random guess. I don't understand at all how they got that number, but here you can see, let's turn this focus back on. Let's bring it up real close, see if you can actually see what the heck these things look like. I'll get better footage of them when they're in the tank, but we've got 2 bags of those, and the bags are pretty cold, which makes sense, very cold outside, but they are still kicking. Apparently they can survive up to like freezing or something, so that's cool. And we've just got some normal old green water, basically just hella amounts of algae. I don't know how I'm going to keep the green water supplies up because I don't have a smaller light anymore. So I'm gonna have to go buy a light for this tank to keep the green water happy, and then we'll see where we go from there. I'm gonna start off by setting up one of those 2.5 gallon tanks and just, I don't know, dumping them in there. Daphnia are filter feeders, which basically means they float around the water column looking for something to eat. So I started off setting up these tanks by draining the water from one of the fish tanks that was already set up in the fish room. If I use the water from one of these other fish tanks, I basically preload the water with a little bit of food, but mostly I pre-cycle it so I don't have to worry about any crashes or something bad biologically occurring. It'll also help me with feeding because right now I don't exactly know what to feed them, so I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do there really quickly, but this will help give them a little bit of food in the water column just to hold them off for a couple hours while I actually figure out what I'm going to do. We'll talk more about how I feed and take care of these tanks in the next video on these Daphnia. But for now, let's just go ahead and set these guys up. Alright, all the Daphnia is in. I think they're attracted to light, which explains why they're clouding up right next to the glass of the tank, which is very convenient for filming at least. There's some weird little things, you know. If I can zoom in a little bit closer, you can see some of them are just hopping around, some of them are like on the glass, kind of weird little things. I'd actually like have a tank of these just to watch. It's kind of entertaining. That's kind of it for now. We're just gonna see how these cultures do. I still need to go find some kind of lamp. I'll figure that out later.